Let's go flying.
Alright, well, welcome aboard Flight 001 today. We are currently flying over Lake Tiana. Now, Lake Tiana is New Zealand's second largest lake, but it is the largest volume of fresh water in all of Australasia. It has a total length out the right-hand window of 65 kilometres, all about the start of the Milford Track, and a circumference of around about 530. Over here on the left we have the control gates. Now there's no power generated here. This is just to try and control the lake level. Being such a large lake, left uncontrolled, it can flood quite easily. The Lake Tiana flows through the control gates into the Waiau River. Now the Waiau River is one of the best freshwater fishing rivers in the world in actual fact, fish per kilometre. But it's been made more famous now because it was used in the first Lord of the Rings movie for all of the river scenes. On board today we have a lovely pair coming for a mystery flight. If you want to say hi to your camera, you can. Hi. Welcome along. At the moment, as a great example of on the left-hand side of rural farming New Zealand, on the right-hand side, the national park, how different they are, and how all New Zealand would have been before we colonised. Over here on the left, a wee bit of a giggle. You'll see a tar seal road and an alcove carved into the river, This was made for the Queen and the Queen Mother back in the 1960s for her coronation tour. Problem is she never turned up. So now we use it to launch the jet boats from. It's very handy. It's called the Queen's Reach. And on the right-hand side, once the wing lifts up, you will see...
Romeo Mike, just eastern side of the Walmart, 7,500 southwest.
There's a swing bridge around here, I'll show you. And this marks the end of the Kepler track at Rainbow Reach. This is one of the places that you can drive to, walk a bit of the Kepler track without wearing yourself out. Alrighty, down here on the left is one of the Lord of the Rings more famous movie sites. There's a long straightaway of river. And then I'll show you the other one, which is over here on the right-hand side. And it's the last sweeping corner before, the second last sweeping corner before the wire goes into Lake Manapuri. And that's down here on the right. Over on the left here is the town of Manapuri. That's home to about 300 people. And that is the other gateway to Doubtful Sound. It's a boat across Lake Manapuri to the West Arm. Now, Lake Manapuri that we're flying over, it has been voted New Zealand's most picturesque lake. There are 33 islands in it, and almost all of them are forested. It's most famous for the power station at the far end, which hopefully Mother Nature will allow us to see. And it's just been discovered controversially that it's New Zealand's deepest lake at around about 1,100 feet deep.
Lake Oroko won't be very happy then.
No, not very happy at all. What happened is they've actually found a weak tear in the lake that scientists found, and they claimed it to be. It's not made public, but we had the scientists on board that told us that. So there you go.
All right.
Over here on the left, you see one of the Real Genius boats going to the West Arm. They'll be off on a doubtful cruise. And over here on the right is Pomona Island. Now this is New Zealand's largest freshwater island. You might even give them away. What do you reckon? And Pomona Island is also predator free. It's what we call a tree avalanche. You'll see the lack of trees, and you'll see there's only rock underneath it. In the Southern Alps, there's no dirt for the trees to grow into. They're growing to rock. The average rainfall around here is around about between 3 to 6 metres a year. When the trees get too heavy, they avalanche away, and a tree avalanche will take around about 400 years to reforest. On the left-hand side, we have the power lines, which disappear down to Waiwai Bay, down the aluminium smelter. And on the right-hand side, this is the power station. The power station took 10 years to build the original concept. That was started back in the 60s, and then a second tail race was done back in the 80s. You used to be able to take a tour through there, but unfortunately with OSH, etc., it can no longer be done. There is approximately a 700-foot fall between Manapuri and Doubtful Sound. That's where the water gets its power from. And then Doubtful Sound's further up here. Let's do a slightly tighter turn, just because we're where we are. And then we'll put the power station also on the right-hand side. You can really see the power lines on the right-hand side, and we'll come back round, and we're going to put the power station on the left.
Yeah, we must have done one of the last tours around the power station. We did the Dusky tour
a while back. Okay. Yeah, it's a shame. I would like to do it personally, but unfortunately it can't be done. So there you go. Power station on the right-hand side, so left-hand side now. And that's looking up the Spey Valley. On the left, this is the Unaburn Valley. Now here we are in the north arm of Lake Manapuri. As I said, this looks identical to Doubtful Sound. What you'll notice is the lack of beaches, and that's quite normal for a glacial formed waterway. The waterfall over here on the left, this is formed from the Norwest Lakes, which is up above, and that featured heavily in the first Lord of the Rings movie. Normally, or sorry, not normally, but quite often, the depth of the fjord is about 1/3 the depth of the mountain above it. Alrighty, let's go in for a landing. Float plane is a bit different than your normal approach, and that's just the way it gets done, unfortunately. There you go, welcome to paradise. And I think this is the beach we're looking for, so we'll head on over. Alright, if you're all good, we'll go get airborne. Okay. the right here is Rona Island. And on the left-hand side, if you happen to watch the Travel Guides program or the Subway ad, the beach on the left here is where we took our actors. The valley on the left-hand side over here is the Irisburn Valley, and this is where the Kepler track comes out of into Lake Manapori. On the right-hand side is the town of Anau, home to about 3,000 people only. Out on the right, in this landmass, you see a whole bunch of lakes. Now, what happened is about 14,000 years ago, the glacier came out of the South Fjord, which is soon going to be on the left-hand side. It came out of the South Fjord, parts of it broke off, and then melted in the dirt. It left the 13 hidden lakes of Anau. Only visible by the air, each one of these small lakes is around about 900 feet deep each. And there'll be a lot more as on the way back. Out on the left-hand side, this is the South Fjord. Now there are only 3 freshwater fjords in the region. All 3 of them are here on Lake Anau. The South Fjord is around about 1.5 times larger than Milford. It's less accessible, and for that reason alone I find it more beautiful. The mountains out here on the left-hand side are the Murchison Mountains, and this is where the whakahaere were rediscovered. The hidden lake down here on the right-hand side was the first tourist attraction in the region back in the late 1800s. You can see the wharf the boat goes to. A wee nature walk and into the lake. And there's a number of cruise boats, so you can still do that tour here with Lake Anau. And as we fly this landmass, more and more of these hidden lakes will come into view.
And the Yankee into the forest burn, climbing through 2200.
Down on the right here, this is the Broad Bay, and Broad Bay is the start of the Kepler track. Kepler track takes between 3 to 5 days to walk, about 7 hours to run is the record. We can fly in about 20 minutes. That's the one I prefer. Sounds a lot better. If you'd like to make sure your seatbelts are buckled on, I will go on for a landing. Thanks for coming.